All right, everybody, welcome back to Full Circle with Joyce. Thank you again for your company. I see you engaging with me on Facebook. Esther Gakuru, shout out to you. You say you're watching from Kangocho Karatina. Mudama Scholar, Witethia represented, you say. Asante Sana for the compliments as well. Cynthia Kinyanjui saying, hey Joyce, looking good Kamakawa, asante for that. And you say Limuru well represented. Simon S. Wakimzi from Baba Dogo Outer Ring Road. Judy Wanjigu from Lolongo, thank you very much for your love. And you say, you're passing your salams, I guess, to Masi Wangari from Gidurai. Do keep your feedback coming in to 22999 and also on our social media pages at Switch TV KE on Instagram and at Switch TV Kenya on Facebook and Twitter. Particularly now as we get into this discussion. This is our chat with business leaders, and today we want to talk about the Just Work Redundancy Outplacement Program. My guest here is called Natalia Polishchuk, and she's the founder and managing director of Just Work. I hope I'm saying it correctly.
You have, absolutely.
It's really good to have you here
Thank
this
you
Monday
so much.
morning. I think it's also very significant to have this type of conversation on a morning like this, where there's so many young people who don't know what they're doing for the day,
Yes.
maybe for the week, for the month. Unemployment, of course, being a huge issue here in this country. But just to give you some background about Natalia, she is an international headhunter and career coach, meaning headhunter means people who you scout.
Exactly. We don't advertise. We
Yeah.
really go and find whatever skill sets businesses are looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have 15 years of experience in this, and in that time you've interviewed over 15,000 people.
Yep, I like talking.
Wow, that's like 1,000 people a year, and then you've hired over 1,000 across 70 countries.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you get into this? Why the headhunting business?
Very interesting. Thank you so much for this question. I think like many young people, when we start our careers, we kind of think, where is it? What is it that I want to do when I grow up? And I actually did a degree in fashion, coincidentally. But my first internship was actually within an IT company in their training and development. And I think once I got a kind of feel for what it's like to work for people, with people, it's very people focused. And because I've also traveled and I'm fluent in a few languages, the recruitment part for me seemed the most interesting, especially because headhunting, you headhunt somebody that is not actively looking. So we come and find you whilst you're happy in your current role and potentially say to you, this is a better opportunity.
Wow.
So it's got a little bit of a sales element to it.
How does one get headhunted? Because I think there's many people who would want to be in that position.
Oh, yes.
That I'm just sitting somewhere in my house, in my neighborhood, and someone comes to find me and say that there's a job that's perfect for you. How does one build themselves to that point?
Thank you so much for this question. The first thing I would ask is, please do not use the curriculum vitae. Because your curriculum vitae lives on your laptop. If you are using the CV to manage your career, it means you are managing it reactively. I'm now going to pull it out and click and apply among 500 other people.
Yeah.
And then what happens is it is computers that read your curriculum vitae, not humans. So how do you digitize your profile? So the first thing I would say is the curriculum vitae is a document that was created over 70 years ago. What businesses are looking for are not immediately visible on the curriculum vitae. Now, I'm not removing how important it is, but what I'm saying is put it online, like LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Put your profile online, digitize it so that people can come and find you. So don't treat your career reactively. I know there is a lot of frustrations. I have people who have been clicking and applying, and they're senior individuals for months and they get absolutely no result. When I say you can get a job within a month to maximum 3, it is not that hard, Joyce. It really is not, and I'm not a miracle worker.
Even in this Kenya?
Even in this. And more importantly, we have to realize what is happening in the 4th industrial revolution. And the main thing is you are not a Kenyan employee. You are an international. Your location is no longer relevant. Bangladesh in the last 2-3 years has managed to corner the online labor market by becoming the 2nd largest global provider, with the highest mobile penetration in Africa being Kenya, with good internet access. There is absolutely no reason why you cannot get onto an online labor market. There's so many ways. Many employers that are looking for you are not even in this country, especially Africa being the new frontier.
Wow, I love that, because basically you're just saying we need to broaden our minds.
Completely. And it's so easy to do because you are tech savvy. You provide a digitized profile. For youths, what I would say is this: use a digital profile so that you can click and apply. If you are at mid-level career, really do a combination of both. And if you are senior, the top roles will never appear on job boards. So how you manage your career throughout is really quite important. And there is no such thing as jobs. Jobs are careers. Careers are lives. We spend 5 out of 7 days within a work environment, and all people do is just look for the next job. I plan careers.
Nice.
And the other thing I teach people is not your skills. It is not your education. So if you were a hand cream or if you were a product, what we would do is start reading the ingredients. I have this degree, whereas you should be positioning your value add. What can my knowledge and my skills help you do and achieve? So how we position ourselves,
Yes. And speaking of that positioning, because as you're saying, you know, even our CVs, our profiles, our career experience now needs to go digital and show it digital.
Yes.
And I feel like part of that positioning is for especially young people to also be very careful about the impact of social media, because there are indeed companies that now in this digital age look at our social media profiles, because that tells a lot about a person.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that.
Yes, I would be. You see, people don't just hire individuals. In terms of when you are recruiting people, you're always looking to eliminate a certain amount of risk. And there are a lot of behaviors. You see, the internet has created so many new behaviors that we would not normally see offline.
Right.
So because they are behind the screen, nobody else can see. People are much more free in voicing their opinion. But without a doubt, I would definitely look at all social media platforms, especially if it's a critical role and you may have maybe budgetary responsibility or other areas. And yes, I have seen many businesses even reject to look potentially a profile because maybe some of their postings have been a little bit, I would say, on a controversial area.
Wow.
So yeah, you have to be very careful. It is a digital footprint. Every time you post something, you comment somewhere, it's recorded.
Right.
And it's somewhere there. And businesses do use that, but not just to hire you, but also to manage you. You know, people who say, they call in, I'm sick, and then they go on the social
Yes,
media.
and you're out at the
you
beach.
know?
Shame on you. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want to get to your just redundancy outplacement program in just a little bit. But before I do, can you then give us maybe some pointers as far as how then do we position ourselves online, especially in this digital age, because that too is quite saturated. There's people from, and now we're competing in a global market. So not just, you know, a Kenyan workforce of maybe 17 million. We're talking about billions of people here. How does one position themselves well, both for their LinkedIn? What are some of those areas that you'd say on social media just never go there, right? When you're trying to position yourself
When you're trying to position
internationally.
yourself. Look, each social media platform, we all know, has a different kind of context that we use it in. So if I am looking for a really strong marketing communications or a really good content writer, potentially, I am going to go on Twitter. Why? Because there I'm going to find big followers, people who really, but then I'm going to come back to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the only professional, it has over 500 million.
Yeah.
Will I go to Instagram? Yes, if I'm looking for a particular creative, even in graphic design, etc. So I will use different platforms to potentially identify you. And then I'll come back to LinkedIn. The main advice I would give is this. There are keywords. There is soft keywords and hard keywords. Soft keywords are things like I am motivated, I'm passionate, I'm driven. I would never search for soft keywords. I hire via soft keywords, but I search hard keywords. Hard keywords is budgeting, social media managing, MailChimp, Hootsuite, content management, content writing. These are hard skills. So the way to digitize in its basic format is to repeat your keywords, hard skills,
keywords.
again and again and again. Then it depends on what application tracking tool you are using. There's about 7 of them. Some are very smart and they read your whole profile. Others will only read what you've initially input. So there is a little bit of combination on that.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is to input your keywords again and again a few times. So if I search for content management, you come up. And also that's on LinkedIn, especially building your network.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you're like this huge reservoir of information, and I feel like this conversation will need to carry on again another time. But I want to get to your Just Work redundancy program, our placement program. Tell me, what is that about?
So first of all, I want to say that I get a lot of people that come to me and say there is a lot of unemployment in Kenya. On top of that, the redundancies are kind of going, is what's happening, the economy is going down. The first thing I will say is definitely not. Kenya moved 2 economy scales from 8 to 6. Kenya has so many advantages across East Africa that the average Kenyan needs to really become aware of. The reason that we have so many redundancies is because we are shifting the way we are consuming. It's as simple as that. It's not that the industry has kind of gone down. So when you see the banking industry shrinking a little bit, you have your Tala and your branch coming up. So it's just the way we are actually approaching the way the economy is moving. The fact that we purchase things more online. Right. We have things like Uber. We have disruptive technologies that are coming in. So the first thing to say is that Kenya is in a good economy position as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Yes, there are challenges, and I hear them daily. Now, what I find is that when people are being made redundant, having really supported this even in my career whilst I was in the UK, Joyce, I find that people that are at a senior level, when they are made redundant, the impact that it has on them is almost unfathomable, and I'm not exaggerating. I've seen people on a strong career trajectory. They've gone from promotion, they've grown, they've developed, they get made redundant, and it's almost as if their career gets broken. They take a year, 6 months, then they're not sure where they're going back. So redundancies, some even fall into depression. Some even fall into depression. So redundancies have a far, far bigger implication, especially for more senior individuals, than most businesses understand. What I find is that when it comes to redundancy, what really gets a lot of people really emotionally drained is lack of clear communication. Yes. What happens is that we know there is something happening. There is a little bit of so-and-so said, rumor moves around, and you know how rumors whisper, Chinese whispers grow. And then what happens is a lot of insecurity comes in, and then the business makes an announcement without full transparency and say, right, Department A is at risk, but Department B is not. But that does not mean Department B is not going to be at that point where am I safe, what is happening, etc. So what happens is the whole redundancy process, how the internal communication is managed, usually has the most negative and biggest impact. Also, big companies do not necessarily want to be associated with redundancies because it has some also implications. So what do we do at Just Work?
Yes.
What we do is first of all, we separate the population into 3. Younger people, people who are in their first 10 years of experience, will need something different. So that is what we call our standard, full program. It covers from how do I plan for my future career, how do I get a job right now, how do I identify a company, and how do I ace an interview. We then have an executive level, and then finally what we have is a lot of senior people may not necessarily be looking to go and find another job. So they are now looking to build a consultancy. So going from employment to self-employment. So we support all of those.
Wow, fantastic. Kudos to you and congratulations for building this business. Clearly you're meeting the needs of so many people in different stages of their lives. And unfortunately my time with you is up, but I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like there's so much more to discuss with Natalia here. We'd love to have you over again. And maybe you can let us know how people can follow your work, perhaps your website or social media.
Of course. The company is called justwork.com. But it has a missing U because I'm looking for you.
Oh, nice.
So jstwork.com. I have quite a lot of material on a lot of the social media. We run a lot of free events for people to come in. So if you can't come to the program, you can follow us on YouTube. There's lots of different material. And of course, free talks that I do regularly.
Wow, Natalia, this has been excellent. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Guys, that was like such tremendous information. I hope you paid attention to what she said there about your you call them hard
skills.
Hard skills and your soft skills. That they look for hard skills, but they hire based on your soft skills. So guys, stay woke, keep your eyes peeled, and make sure that whatever you're doing is actually contributing to who you want to find you and where you want to be. Excellent conversation this Monday morning. Thank you once again, Natalia. With that said, we're going to take a short break now as we get ready for our viewpoint discussion. We're going to be looking at security issues. There's all sorts of things that have been happening. Like I said, everything from visa bans to the coronavirus. That's coming up next on Full Circle with Joyce. Stay tuned.